Cool. All right, so taking a continuation play here, we have swept our liquidity. This is my smart money reversal as far as I'm concerned here. We hit yesterday's close. Nice reaction. we've got equal highs here, and we've not reached this gap, so I don't think we're finished with this move. At the very least, we'll get this high. Now we've tapped back into previous daily lows, so inverted that level and tapped under the top of it. Got a nice 1 minute reaction. Entered slightly late because I wanted a bit more confirmation, just because I wasn't convinced that we had hit 50, that we had retraced to 50% of this range, because I only had a few minutes to set up. But then after having a second look at it, it looks like we tapped perfectly into 50% going by the candle bodies. So went in with small risk and tight stop, 65 risk, and I expect us to get this high here, so that's why I'm going to keep my TP. We could see consolidation, we could see a bit more of a retracement, but it's fine. We're happy to take losses if we need to. A small loss is fine, and that's pretty much it. It's a simple continuation trade. That's a nice V-shaped recovery there. Pretty bullish after this move. We've got 930 above, previous daily high above. This is 930 open though, I don't know why that's there. Hopefully that 1 minute is gonna hold now. Don't know why that's there. Yeah, so we want to see 50% of this range hold. If not, wait for a re-entry when it gets when it has more of a retracement, if that's what it's looking for. I'm not very bearish. I do expect it to go up from here at some point. Got an SMT with ES also. So ES, if you this is how I map out my SMT. Just put 50 on, put my DRT levels here, and here. As you can see on NQ, we tap into 50%, we come down, but ES is hovering up here, doesn't quite reach 50%, which says to me that NQ is just reaching for that equilibrium before then going up. If they both came down and hit 50%, I wouldn't have entered. I would need an SMT, as this is a continuation trade, and we haven't swept any significant liquidity other than, if you can call this liquidity here. In this situation, we want this 1 minute to hold. That's our entry model. If that fails, then we'll be looking for a re-entry. Took a couple of trades earlier, a couple of wins. I'll review them after today's session. Don't like this candle. Got 20 seconds left. We want to see that move back up and close in the top half. Give that a tiny bit of room to breathe. That's what we want to see. All right. Yep. Perfect. Nice. All right. Sound is good. That's good. So we had some decent moves in the AM. Nice, decent moves. I caught a nice short. And if I was home, I would have caught this long after yesterday's close. Had that mapped out. A lovely 2 minute off of that. I believe it was a 2 minute. Might have been a 1 minute. I haven't actually looked at it properly, just on my phone. It must have been a 1 minute. Looking at the wrong area. Was there a 1 minute? No, I didn't think there was a 1 minute. It was must have been a 2 minute. Yeah, 2 minute here. Lovely textbook entry that would have been if I was at the computer. Right there. Very nice trade there. TP could have just been even here. You'd have been out of that by now. Yeah, lovely trade. But we'll go over that one properly afterwards as well. Finding some nice support on this 1 minute. That's why we love them. You got that long gone, mum. Yes, that's what I want to hear. I was wondering if you caught that because that was a textbook. Good to hear that. You know, at least someone caught it. I don't mind if you got it. I don't mind missing it. And that's a nice way to end the week as well. It's a decent trade. All right, coming in NQ. Let's get some energy. We could see some consolidation at this time. What time is it now? It's hitting the macro, so if we don't start pushing in the next 5-10 minutes, then it's likely just going to range around, and I'm not going to move my stop. I'm just going to leave that there, and I'll take a re-entry if we get stopped out. That's fine. Like this candle, like that candle. I realized what it was. You was right, Mum, the other day when you was like, have you got it open on another screen? Well, yeah, when you stream on YouTube, it's playing the video as well, like about a minute behind or a few seconds, a little while behind, and then it normally mutes it when you start the stream. I think it did, but I must have unmuted it for some reason. So now I know what that was, so we shouldn't have that problem again. Let's clean this up a bit. Let's get back to the 15 minute here. I like these candles, looking a little bit bearish there. Like it wants to sweep some of these lows out on the S maybe. Let me reevaluate this 50% in case we do come down. Did I see a volume imbalance earlier on? I'm pretty sure I marked out a volume imbalance. Oh no, we covered that. That was on the daily. We already cleared that out. That's not a good candle. We don't want to see a close below the fair value gap. That's not ideal. Okay, we stopped out there for a small loss. That's fine. Let's see what the market wants to tell us then now. What could we be looking for here? We've got these equal highs here. We've got previous daily high. We've got 9:30 open. So we've had yesterday's close. So I'm still bullish. Let's see what. Let's regroup. That looks like a nice sweep. Another tap in. Let me have a look at this now. So ES doing ES. Still got an SMT on ES. That looks like the 50% tap we might have been waiting for. I'd be happy to re-enter this on another 1 minute if we get it. Let's see. And I just want to have a bit of a look at the higher time frame to see if we really have anything down there that's of any interest. Okay, I'll keep that there for now. What are you looking for? We did leave some equal lows, but we've got new week opening gaps been here, and I'm bullish until we get, yeah, we've got some stacked highs here. I'm happy to re-enter. I definitely feel like previous daily high is more of a target, unless we consolidate, which is fine. I'll take one more attempt at this because I feel like that was a reach for 50%. I may not have marked that out correctly. For example, go from here to here, wick to wick, then that is potentially the 50% tap, and that's a nice push there. I'm going to take this on my challenge account. I'm pretty confident on this. We can get a nice strong close, and I'll be taking that. Just want to be don't like that rejection. Let's see what we get here. We go 35-minute order blocks. A gap here. Yeah, I just don't see it being bearish at this point, so we will just watch it for a minute. ES is still hanging around. It's not hitting that 50%. Another tap into a previous daily low level. What does the hourly look like? Yeah, we've not swept anything to the upside. Looks like we might be running out of steam here. Equal highs in 930 is my draw at the minute. We've also had 50% of this range, I believe. Yeah, easily. Alright, well, the market's unpredictable, as we know. At the minute, it's not doing what I expected to do. If we get a nice strong 1 minute candle up here, you're happy to enter. Oh, where would my stop be here? What my stop here? 20-point stop. Volume imbalance there. My ES has been tapped again. Got this bearish candle here. We've not even reached this 1 hour. You know, if we'd come up and tapped into this 1 hour and then we were moving bearish, then, you know, I'd feel okay, maybe there's something there. But we haven't even reached. We've not swept any liquidity. We've left equal highs. We've not even tapped this 15-minute gap. So there's no reason to be bearish here. But we'll see. I'm going to move this out of the way, clean it up a little bit. RTH closed, but we know that, that's cool. We'll leave that in. Still got our 1 minute, we've got a new 1 minute, but I'm gonna wait because okay, stop's bigger now. Okay. New 1 minute here. Depending on the close of this candle, if it does close above, I'll either enter here or I may wait for this original 1 minute, depending on how it looks. Yes, it's still not hit 50%. I consider this to be a reach on liquidity and a reach on equilibrium on NQ. So if we can get some decent momentum, I'll be taking this long. Still very bullish. Don't like this candle. Market looking bearish, and I cannot work out what for. We've hit into this 4 hour, which I marked out earlier, with this massive wick. We've left some equal lows. We've already hit the new week opening gap. You really want these lows? I don't believe you. I feel like it's just messing around before going up. That's all I can. As we're delivering out of a 4 hour, we haven't really inverted anything significant to the downside, nor have we on the 1 hour. Find a support here. There's a 30-minute look. $30-minute gap here. All right, looking to enter here if we get a nice close here. Just feels very bullish to me. Happy to take a risk. I want to take off a little bit of risk just because of the way that it's been behaving. This consolidation here, I would much prefer a V shape out of this previous daily low level. So I'll size down, 20-point stop. Normally I would put 5 micros on that, but I'm just going to size down to 3 if we get a decent close. Excuse me. Nope. What does this look like on the 2-minute? Okay, not liking the look of this. This looks like we could just consolidate, which is fine. I'd rather it just consolidate here than continue down, because if it did, then we'd just be waiting for another opportunity. I'm happy to see accumulation here, then maybe a dip, and then a manipulation and distribution, but we'll see. So far, this is all bearish, so this level would need to hold here for me to be interested in longs. So that's a bearish close, so it's not looking great for longs. But I'm not prepared to take shorts at the minute, unless we get a strong inversion to the downside, which would mean you would have to invert. We actually have inverted a small 15, but there's also this 15 inverted, so this is not high probability area to take a trade, especially not a short in general. But the 5 minute, this is a 5 minute order block here, which I would have expected to hold. This is probably why we've been messing around here. So it's now closed in the bottom half. Use that as support, and then it's now messing around in the, oh no, so that's previous daily low. We have closed here. Let's see how we react in the middle of this, but this is a very bearish signature. This sort of big candle, indecision candle, and if we get another bearish candle, then that's a very bearish signature. 35 seconds until this 5 minute closes. The draw of liquidity could then be considered to be down here. But I'll be surprised if that's the case. My expectation is just for this to rip up at a key time, probably like on the hour here. This could be an hourly wick. We get an hour. Is that the hour? Have we got news? If we have, it's Friday. Okay, and let's see what happens on this here, because that looks like a wick to me. Get rid of this. I wanted to check the 30 minute. Did we have a 30 minute gap? No, that needs to stay on the 1 minute. Okay. This 30 minute gap, how are we behaving in here? That's in the bottom half. We're closing the bottom half of that gap. We use it as support. Had a move up. I'm very surprised that we've not even tapped into this gap here, and we're already moving back down. So rocky ground. It's all good. We just stay patient, and if you're not sure, you just don't press that button. I'm just going to put this back in to see what that looks like. Okay, looking pretty bearish, surprisingly. If you look here, how ES is still not managed to push below this 50% of this range. So it's like NQ is reaching for something. I feel like we're drawing short positions in here to then run out. That's my opinion. This is our most recent 1 minute, so we would need to get right up above that and back out of this fair value gap to take a long. I don't see shorts. Even if it continues down, I'm not looking for shorts. Quick look at the daily here again. You're never going to short into a. You're never going to short into a bullish 4-hour gap anyway, and a bullish 30-minute gap. 45 seconds left on that. Yeah, I'm very bullish on this. So let's see if we can get a long position. That's all we're holding out for now. Yes, that is how. Okay. Wondering if it might make more sense to wait for that second gap. What's this look like on the 2 minute? I think we'll be alright with a 1 minute. I will size down. If we get a strong close above this 1 minute here now, I'll move this out of the way. I'll enter with that with less risk. 3 micros instead of 5. Let's see. Okay, this might be our entry here. ES, nice reaction. What's ES look like on the 1 minute? Had a little sweep there. Equal lows. Okay. What time are we on? Just at the end of the macro, which is a decent time. So I'm more than convinced now that we've been drawing in short positions to then run them out. So we've got 15 seconds on this candle. See how we close on this. Got a lot of nice little bit of low resistance liquidity here. That's not the best close. I'm going to go in with 2 contracts here, just because of the close. I didn't set my my risk parameters. I think I'll take that loss. New account, make sure you remember to set your parameters. You never know, it might dump now and lose, and then I'll be happy that happened. Okay. 1 minute here. So I'm going to enter now. See the close of this candle here. I'm going to go in with 3, I think, if we get a nice close here. So since that held, I'm going to go in with 3. I didn't put on the little thing there. Like, okay, this is not good. That's what it wanted from me. Okay, in this case, I'm just going to have to, I'm not closing that again. I want my stop probably about here. Just going to stop sell 3 there. That's now my stop loss. So anyone that doesn't know how to do that, that's how you do it. And I want my TP. Obviously it doesn't tell you how much you're risking, but I know I'm risking less than what I want. It's probably about 150 or so. And now I want to see my TP, at least at these highs. And so you're just going to sell what you bought. You're going to limit sell 3 here. And it's quite a big risk to reward. I'm happy with that because I'm very confident on these highs. I'm pretty confident we're bullish, so I'm happy to hold for that. And we'll have our break even here. And you let the trade play out. I like how ES has tapped this 50% here to the tick. We've had a reaction that makes me quite confident in the trade. But then again, anything can happen in these crazy markets. Move this back. What are you saying, Mumsy? Are you in on this trade? Did you take that? Fair enough, fair enough. As long as you're still watching it, you're still training your eye to see, I guess, you know. If it would just created a unicorn here, this gap here, just at the level of this breaker here. So that's good. This gap here in this breaker. Yeah, they learn. You see the top of this breaker block here. See how that aligns with this this fair value gap, and then we tap into it, use that as support. That's a unicorn there. Which I like to see. We could be in the trade for a while, especially with such a high TP and so late in the day. Well, I guess we're not that late in the day, we've still got the whole PM, but how many points is it? So it's less than 100 points. It's not too much to ask. Get out of it. Not the creepy way. I'm watching everything you do. Yeah, but I was literally, I mean, my time is just, I'm literally running in from work, went to the fit shop to get food, got back, making my tea, sat down, and then, you know, but yeah, first of all, it is 5:30 every day, if not earlier. If it is earlier, then I will try, but I guess I could put it in the Telegram live at 5:30, right, when I know, like an hour earlier. Yeah, I will do that. I even forgot to forward it to people in the WhatsApp. I'm just doing that now. It's because I saw a trade presenting itself as soon as I got to the charts. We break even soon. My headphones working. go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. I need to put some more stuff in the Telegram. I'm just getting started with all this stuff, so I'll get better at notifications. But yeah, that was my plan this week. I missed yesterday. Had a few things to do, but be the same next week as well. All right, so we are at break even. I'm actually just going to put this just underneath this here at the previous daily low, because we sometimes get a tap into this 1 minute, and looking at, I want to wait until 50% is well above. You see, so I don't want, as long as equilibrium is still sort of in a significant area here, I want to just stay below that. I don't mind leaving a little bit of risk on, but sometimes it can just want to revisit this 1 minute or equilibrium. So I would advise just leaving some room to breathe. So we say break even, but be intuitive with it. Don't just follow rules like a robot. Okay, this is 5 minutes. I'll take a bit more risk off here and just put it right underneath the 1 minute. As equilibrium moves up, we're just moving up a little bit with it. I'm happy for it to tap in here if it needs to, but any further than that and I'd want to be out. What have we got? Previous data low? And that's sufficient. So what was I thinking? Okay, so we're going to be creating a bearish SMT at some point, because ES is much higher. Let me look at this on a 15 minute. So this isn't something that you need to be too concerned about, especially in conditions like this where it's, for me, quite obviously bullish, at least up until this 15 minute gap here. But if you notice that this high and this high, we've got an SMT. So by the when ES hits this and sweeps this, we're likely to see quite a deep retracement. So how you play the trade depends. Some people trail stop into profit, and then 9 times out of 10 it gets the retracement and they take it, but they're not willing to leave it down here in case the retracement is so deep that they get stopped out. So I haven't been in this situation for a while, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna play it, but I'm just gonna play it by ear as we go, and just watch how the candles close. That's all you can do really. I'm feeling like I may close my trade when ES hits this high, just because of the type of price action. Now we've left the equal highs here. We've run out most of this LR. Have a look at my P&L is only 150, so I'm not happy with 150. That's not for free macros. I would want to hold for a little bit longer here. Especially since everything that we're creating, all the 1 minutes are holding. It's looking nice and bullish. I'm not sure if I will close or if I will trail. We shall see. Hopefully NQ can make some nice distance before ES taps that high. And my P&L's there. Really decent price action today for a Friday. We've had pretty nice price action all week, bar yesterday. So if that is any indication as to what 2026 is going to look like, then obviously, you know, it changes up and down. But I mean, for a Friday PM session, getting moves like this, continuation moves like this, so clean and with nice momentum, good volume, that's what you want. Nice momentum on NQ here. ES hanging around, which is what we want. All right, so for those of you watching in the future, which is technically now for you, join the free Telegram. I'll be alerting these trades in that Telegram once we hit, I would say, 50 members in the group. Because at the minute, so I'm not sure how many people are really even looking at the signals, so it seems like a waste of time and energy. So once we hit 50, all these trades will be alerted in that Telegram group. And all that other stuff, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share, you know how we do. Help the channel out, we appreciate it. 1 minute IFVG here to the downside, which I don't like. So I'm moving to break even here. Happy to take a break even trade, risk free trade now, but I'm going to hold for TP at least for ES to hit this high here. And that should put me on around, can't see my P&L now, but I'm happy with 300. We can get that. And 2 now. 1, 2. We get to that here at least. That FVG you just marked out is bigger. Was it the 2 minute one? That was it when I went to the 2 minute. Oh yeah, you can see. Yeah, well spotted, mama. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was wondering why I was reacting like that. Thank you. Come on NQ, let's go. We know you want them highs. What was the RR on this? We entered here. Where was our stop initially? It was below. I think it was about here, wasn't it? So we're at 2 point. We already hit a 2.5 on that, which is pretty decent. If I can get a 3R, I'll be happy with that, and I'd likely close out there. How many points is that? 51 points. The PM session on the Friday, not bad. When you draw your range out and you have points of interest like order blocks and so forth sitting at 50%, aligning perfectly, it's at that point that you can expect to see the retracement if there's going to be one. And you can, because the algorithm, so even before these candles had formed, at this point, this order block was formed. You could have marked this out, the bottom of this order block. This happened so many times over and over, and you could have predicted where you were going to turn around. And if you'd mapped out your DRT levels, you would have noticed that there's a 5-minute gap here, and you could have almost predicted that would have been a reversal from there. We don't know how far it's going to come back. My prediction is, I mean, we can always hit 50%, but at this point, when we're close to a level of liquidity, and ES is also close to a level here, we don't see a full retracement often. It could just be this gap in this order block that it wants. So let's see. I like to predict and see. The 5-minute gap, 5-minute order block, and then you've got your 50% level here. Let's see if we get a deep enough retracement, or if the volume is high enough just to continue up. But we won't be trading stop or taking any partials. I'm happy to take a break even. We've still got the rest of the PM. It's a risk-free trade. I'd rather sit through the retracement. You've got to get used to retracements. You can't just, as soon as it turns around, oh, trading must stop, and you're gonna suffocate your winners. And over time, you're losing a lot of money. You have to be prepared to sit through retracements. Manage your risk, meaning you're in a risk-free trade now. If this comes down and you trailed your stop here, and it comes down, taps here, and then goes to full TP, if that happens over and over again, you're losing a lot in the long run. If you're in a risk-free trade, just leave it. You don't have to get money from every trade. The idea was right, the execution was right, the risk management's right. That's a success, even if we do get tapped out at break even. So try and have that mindset so that you don't suffocate your winners. And use it as an opportunity to see if you can predict where it might reach to and turn around. And at this level here, we have a breaker and a fair value gap, which is our unicorn. So if we did come down, I wouldn't expect to see us go past this. So that would be quite a strong level of support here. Unless it really has gone in for 50%, which, you know, we do see more often than not. A lot of trading is just waiting, hanging around. But also, even when you're not necessarily doing anything and the trade's playing out, when you're looking at the candles like this, it really trains your eye to see. There's patterns in here that I'm not even really using as entry models yet, but I could. I'm sticking to one model because I had my time of jumping between different model strategies, and it's just, in the long run it's not good. And I feel it's definitely important to master one model, one entry model, one strategy, and just have that down to a T. So that's what I'm doing at the minute with this one. But there's so many signatures that I see in price, and I'm, my urge is there just to jump in, like, this is bearish, like I know this is bearish. It's hard not to, but like I said, you don't need to be in every trade. But as I'm watching, I'm learning and recognizing the same signatures over and over again, which is good. It's confidence building. And can you imagine, I mean, I've not been doing this very long at all. I already consider myself to be pretty decent at it, but you imagine 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I see some of these people that have been trading for 8, 9, 10 years, and they, I can imagine already what they're already seeing in the charts and how, to what precision, especially, I mean, I'm talking about ICT, I don't know about anything else. But studying ICT for 10 years would give you a seriously precise interpretation of price action, and that's what I'm coming for. So we've got a little bit of slowdown right now. We're just entering into the next macro now. 43 minutes past, so within the next 5 minutes or so, I expect to see some movement. So if we look here, this whole move, well, that's earlier on. Where was our retracement? I think this is right, yeah. This whole move started, if that's the 1 o'clock, and then that was the so the lunchtime macro around 1 o'clock. We move up throughout that macro, and if you notice, just here we start to consolidate right up until this next macro, which starts around here. You see why we like to trade the macro? This is macro movement. This is outside of the macro. So here, this is the macro movement. You get this move down, and this is before the macro. You see? So from here to here is before the macro. It's just consolidation. Then you get your manipulation and your distribution during that macro period. Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution from 40 to 15, say 45 to 15, you've got this move here, and your entry arises in that macro. We come up here, macro finishes, say 15, quarter past, according to ICT. I usually have it around 10 past, but in this case, you can see as soon as we hit 15, we get a couple more minutes. These are 3 minutes. These are 3 minutes. Yeah, so it's about 5 more minutes. So 20, and then we just get this accumulation. And let's see, because some people doubt the macro. I know that it's effective and that I mean, nothing's 100%, but 7 times out of 10, 7 to 8 times out of 10, we get. You can see this candle here on the 45. Look at the agitation. Just like, that's something, and it's literally on the change of the minute. So unless hundreds of thousands of people or lots of big companies or whatever, and hedge funders or whatever you want to call them, banks, institutions, are all pressing their button at the same time on the second at quarter 2, no, it's the more you watch this, it's clear it's done by computer, done by algorithm, and it's programmed to move at certain times on certain days. That's why when we hit macros like this, you start to see this type of behavior. So look out for that in your own studies. And so entries, you're better entering positions during a macro in order to ensure, you can't ensure, but to be confident that you're going to get a nice amount of movement at that time. And that's what I'm hoping for, because this trade's gone for long enough. I may well, I don't know, am I being impatient? Should I let that run for TP? Yeah, I'm going to let this run for TP. I'm just going to put it here at the body of this candle, because sometimes we like to leave equal highs just before we reach a high. You know how price likes to do that. So I like to have my TPs at the bodies. as a good practice. So if we do push away here, we didn't even tap this 5 minute, which is surprising for me. Not complaining though. I mean, this low resistance liquidity here that we've run out here, that we've moved sort of, we kind of got above and moved, it's really difficult for market to move right back down through all of that again. This is creating a lot of support. So it may not even have the legs to get down to these gaps. Do we get our macro volume? Let's see. Also notice that when we ran out this liquidity, we ran straight into this 5 minute gap here. Oh, sorry. This is the first gap. And we ran straight through it, closed straight above it. All right, one candle, no messing around inside it. We just ran straight through, closed above it, indecision, closed above again. And then we had this candle, which is sort of like a, could call it a manipulation candle, trying to draw people into shorts. People trading different strategies may have wanted to go short there. And then we get this consolidation outside of the macro. My prediction is that we tap this gap at least, and maybe this order block, and then move higher. But the fact that we can run straight up, run through all this liquidity and close above that gap, that's a very bullish signature. Ooh, that's what you want to see. Closing this 5 minute. Don't like how this 5 minutes closing. I mean, I still have faith in the trade, but it's just at this time of the macro, I'd want to see us move it heading up rather than down. But we'll see. We could just get a nice push and then close green on that candle. That would be good if this could flip in the next 20 seconds. Cat wants to come in. Gonna close bearish on that. We got a little bit of reaction there. We got a bit of pushback, which is good. Have you got the cat, babe?
Yeah.
Right. You wanna come in? Come in. Don't start making up noise though. Come up here. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting messages from. Okay, if you're still watching, no, I'm not out yet. I'm still in the trade. The reason you can't see P&L is just because my stop loss is here. My P&L is underneath, and also because I've got a wide screen today. I've made the screen bigger so it blocks everything out. But I kind of, to be fair, I sometimes like not being able to see the P&L. It's just prevents you from, the psychology is a bit better if you don't see numbers moving on the screen, you're just watching the price action. I don't do it as a rule, but when I thought I need a bigger screen and then it disappeared, I thought that's probably a good thing. And then I just moved my stop to the break even and I couldn't see it there either. So I just felt like that happened for a reason, so I left it. But I guess it's not ideal for viewers. But every now and then I can. I'm expecting to get full TP. And if we're at 170 now, and we're around halfway, we're just under halfway, I expect about 330, 340 on this trade if we get full TP. So, what's happened? We have pushed down. What is ES doing at this minute? Well, that's exactly what I want it to be doing by the looks of it, obviously. Well, actually, is ES come down into that gap also? What am I looking at here? Yeah, so ES is okay, that's good. We should be bullish from here. ES has tapped order block. Let's get rid of this because I don't think we're going for 50%, to be honest. So this is good something to talk about when we see both assets tapping into a point of interest at the same time. So for example, this order block, we didn't quite get 50% of the order block, but that's fine. And then also NQ tapped into the bullish gap. What's below? Okay, there is the potential for oh no, that's not a gap, so no. I'd expect us to be bullish from here. Volume is kind of dying out, so I want to see that within the next sort of 10 minutes of this macro. I want to see us run, and preferably run straight to TP, to be honest. That would be great. Yeah, so ES has tapped into the order block. NQ tapped into the gap and did not tap the order block, which gives us a bullish SMT. For me, they've both done their business done here now. They don't really need anything lower than that. They could very well just be bullish now and go to TP, but that's what we want to happen. Let's see what actually happens. Okay, not getting that macro movement like we wanted. So now that we have this accumulation here, we refer to our model. I mean, this is accumulation. This for me is the manipulation. Okay. And so I would have expected a better action from that and a movement. But if we don't get that movement, then that has to be included in the consolidation. Even though we have tapped into it, we have broke out of that consolidation, swept these lows and tapped to 5 minute. It's still looking like it wants to consolidate here. So in that case, especially how ES is looking here, quite bearish, we may want to see, okay, so we look for different points of interest. below. What could we be reaching for? So ES has a 5-minute volume imbalance here. That's its next potential target. And when ES reaches this volume imbalance, I would expect, if we are going to move down more, now that we've tapped that gap, we can move that, and this is our next point of interest, which is now an order block. Which is also housing the 50%. What was that for? That was 3R, wasn't it? Let's put that in. So, since we're still in a consolidation, we may still be looking for a manipulation before our distribution. In that case, I'm just mapping out what do I expect, what levels. I mean, this is not because it's not going to make any difference to what I do in the trade. We're at break even and it will be staying there. But it's just a way of training the brain to look for different signatures in price and be able to predict what market's going to be doing, because there might be times when you're not even in the trade yet and you need to do this so you can determine the entry, which is similar to what we actually did when we entered this trade. We was marking out 50% order blocks, etc., to find out where would be optimal entry, and of course then waiting for our 1 minute. So in my experience, when we see this, we do get our sweep down. So hoping that this order block holds, keeps us in the trade, and then we get our distribution. I mean, best case scenario is that this is already that sweep, that this tap down into the 5 minute is the sweep, is the manipulation, but we'll see. Just gotta be patient at times like this. And it's to be expected in the PM, especially on a Friday. If I had more confidence in the trade, like it was off of a major liquidity sweep, I would have gone in with 5 contracts and I'd be out by now at 2R. But because of size down, I'm kind of being greedy and want a bit more. People can trade differently, manage their trade differently. But for me, I don't really mind taking a break-even trade. I'm happy to stick it out. Okay. Yes, still in this. Yes, it's tapped 50% of that order block now. Which is nice. There's a bit of volume there. What's that? 7 PM on the hour. We don't really want to see it going up at that point because that's creating a top wick. This looks like a break-even trade. Looking at this, this could easily come. This could dump down. This is quite a bearish signature we're looking at here. But again, we just want the order block to hold. That's what we've committed to. Okay, so we've tapped into a 15-minute gap here as well, so 15-minute and a 5-minute gap there. That's good. That's quite bullish. I would expect us to go from here. I don't even want that retracement now. I've seen this 15-minute tap, this indecision candle. We need to pump from here really. Right on the 7 p.m. Let's get a strong close on these candles. Come on. Come on in, Q. Let's go. ES is looking lively. Come on, let's get a nice close, nice strong bullish close here. Rubbish close. We've got a 3-minute resting with equal lows just here as well. You missed about that. Just going to tidy up a bit for the sake of the recording. I'm going to be uploading. We'll leave 50% in. This is a nice push, that's what we want to see. Take this out now as well. That's nice volume. We're breaking out of this consolidation now. Unless we get a massive push down, which I don't really want. But yeah, so from here, if we go to the 2-minute, we'll probably see, because we're just in that last minute now. That's nice. That's a nice push. Nice push. Nice push. ES is now just hitting that liquidity level here, so I'm going to monitor how ES behaves at that level. If it continues to push up, then I'm happy to hold, but if we get a reversal here, then I would probably try my stop right up and just take some profits. This needs to keep pushing for me to hold. And don't watch this on the 1-minute because it will look very different. Just make sure that the 5-minute or even the 3-minute just holds above. We should get TP shortly. I'll be closing out there. Sometimes you gotta just close the trade. You don't want to be a dick for a tick. But that's TP, baby. Decent trade. Very, very happy with that trade. Played out perfectly. A little bit of accumulation, that's fine. PM session on a Friday, that is decent. How many points did we get there? We ended on this 1-minute here, didn't we? Oh no, I'm on a 3-minute, aren't I? I'll look at the entry properly soon, but yeah, pretty sure that leaving the entry there. If we say that we just came out here, 57 points on the day, I mean, that's pretty decent, isn't it? I mean, if you can't complain with that to end the week. First trade on the challenge account as well. Did I get my 330, happy with that. Decent trade. And it's not that complicated, you know? I mean, what we've done there is not that complicated. Let's do a quick recap. I mean, I've seen this thing play out over and over again, you know? Let me just quickly do some calculations here. 57 handles. Okay, nice. So, quick trade recap. We knew. So we were waiting for a 50% retracement to enter this continuation trade that we're delivering out of yesterday's close. We left these equal lows here, which some people were probably been scared of. These sort of equal lows that are sort of right next to all this liquidity here. But for me, the fact that we had moved, that we'd swept our liquidity here, we left the 930 open, we moved right down to yesterday's close. This is what I had marked out as regular trading hours close. If you don't know how to mark that out, you just go here, go to session, go to regular trading hours, and mark the close from yesterday. The close from yesterday was down here. We came down and reacted pretty nicely at that level. And we had our, if you look here, we actually had our first presented fair value gap at that level. So that shows that we've swept that level and we've pushed aggressively away from that level. So earlier on, I mean, you couldn't enter there because there's no inversion, but earlier on, if you saw that at that level, you'd be looking for your entry. I believe my mum took this entry. This is a 2 minute here. That would have been your perfect entry. So we knew that we've got a nice movement from here. We got a nice fair value gap up through that yesterday's close level. And for me, once we see that, I'm bullish. I'm bullish right up until today's 930 open. I expect this, if it's got the legs in the PM, to trade all the way up to there. So we're waiting for continuation. So we'd reached here, this point here, when I got to the computer. We had a 15-minute gap here. We hadn't even reached 50% of this range. Oh, had we? Okay, we had. And that's fine anyway, because that's where you expect to see your retracement. Now, you don't... The market pushed down a lot more than I was expecting or wanted it to, because I was waiting for a 50% retracement again. Okay, now initially we entered. Did we enter? Yeah, I took a demo trade. I took a trade on my practice account early. I think it was around here, or maybe it was here. I can't remember. I'm not going to go into it, but I took a trade just before it had actually hit 50%, because I either had it marked out wrong, or I was on the wrong time frame. I can't remember, but it just wanted to push down a bit more, and it pushed down quite a bit more than it normally does. And so at that point, a lot of people were probably bearish. It's bearish. But the fact that we've not tapped this 15-minute bearish gap, we've not swept any liquidity. Look where it stops. There's nothing significant here. So that tells me that this is a retracement. We haven't done anything here. The market is always seeking internal or external liquidity. We've had our external, which is by form of this and this regular trade now close, and this, in fact, this gap here as well, is a 15-minute bullish gap here. So we've tapped a gap, we've swept liquidity, we've started to move up. Where's the next point of interest? This is always the question. This is how you can determine whether the market is bullish or bearish. So we haven't tapped this 15-minute. We've left 15-minute equal highs. Why would it come right back down to a level where it has already done its business? This has been handled. We've had a gap, we've swept, we've tapped yesterday's close. So this is manipulation. This is pulling people into short positions. There would have been a lot of people looking at this price action here. Where was we? Should I get this right? This price action here, they're looking at that as, oh, the market's bearish. I'm looking at this as low resistance liquidity getting built up. I'm looking at that as short positions being accumulated, and I'm now waiting for my entry model and a reversal, and this is textbook. When you see this and it starts to move down, and then you get a sharp move and then an inversion to the upside, that's the model. That's accumulation. Manipulation isn't as clear here because it's on a lower time frame. That's a 2 minute there, but we've run out all of this liquidity under here. We come down, we've tapped out these lows, and we've also, of course, reached 50% of the range. But we went quite a bit further through 50%. We went a bit further. Sometimes we just tap 50 and react. These are things that you'll come to know the more chart time you get. But so we'd moved down. We haven't yet got our liquidity internal. We haven't reached any highs, haven't done anything. So we get our entry here and we take that all day long. This here, this is interesting. Left at equal highs here. Got a nice V-shaped 1 minute to the downside. But I would never take this because I'm still bullish. What have we done? Nothing. There's nothing has been achieved on this move up. You see? So I would expect this to be a manipulation also, although it looks like a clean inversion to the downside. But you can never take this. 1, there's equal highs, there's triple highs here. 2, there's a gap above. 3, we've done our business down here. This is the draw. I'm bullish on this all day long. So I hope that kind of explains why I didn't change my my bias here when we saw this. And I hope that helps in the future when you're trying to determine, don't give up on your entry. If your entry comes and you see this low resistance liquidity, that's a banger trade there. All right, so here, I want to quickly look at what happened here earlier on the 1 minute. This is a lot of volume. Didn't expect to see that right now. Pretty glad I got out of the trade when I did. Looks like it was yeah, let's talk about that. Where did I get out the trade on why? Because I don't think we actually even got that high, did we? Oh yeah, so this is something I mentioned earlier. This was the original TP, and this is where most people have their TP. No thank you. At the wick high. So if you rewind the video, you'll hear me say this earlier when I was setting my TP. I set my TP at the candle bodies. I set my TP here. Seen this so many times. Look where my TP is. It's at the bodies of the candles. And what I said earlier was, if you put your TP at the wicks, so many times I've seen us leave equal highs, just reach TP and turn around. And that's exactly what's happened here. I'd be interested to see. This is our 50% mark. So could potentially have a re-entry here. Still bullish. This doesn't throw me off at all. That's manipulation to me. That's all that is. And if we look at the 5 minute, we'll get to that in a second. We left these equal highs, and a lot of people would have missed TP here, and they would have been closing or doing whatever. You always keep your TP at the bodies here or here. Don't put it at the wicks, because equal highs and you'll miss your TP, and you'll be upset. So quick tip there. I'm glad that happened, so I can point that out. And let's see what happens here. I'm going to get rid of everything now. 5 minute. And just have a little look at how we're going to react here to the levels we had marked out. And see if it goes down, because I'd be surprised if it does. Of course, it always can do the unexpected. But I am still bullish on this. Although we may want these lows, I guess. Yeah, with this type of action here, we may see these lows swept here and then continue up. Which are what lows? These lows here. Okay, no, I wouldn't expect that. That's too much. You don't need that. Right, yeah, look. So 50% has been tapped. Order block has been tapped. What do we get down here? 1 minute has been made. I'll take this on my practice account. Oh yeah, we'll go over the trades I took earlier as well in a bit. Yeah, so if we got a nice close on this, this is a decent entry. I won't take any more than I need to on my challenge account. I'm happy to leave that until Monday now, because volume can just die out, especially after something like this. You might think, well, why are you trading that? That's a bearish 5-minute inversion. But inversions by themselves don't mean anything. You need to have liquidity. You need to have your equilibrium. For example, why would you short when you've just tapped into 50% and you haven't swept any liquidity to the upside? You've left these equal highs. That's a beautiful target. Even if it was to dig down further, I would still wait, but I would always be bullish on this. Let's see if we can get another entry anyway. It'd be fun to see if we can actually run out these equal highs here that is just left, conveniently left. Why do you think it does that? Well, imagine how many people are short here. People, the stop losses here, stops here, and also retail are looking at this as a support level, so they're going to put their market orders here as well. So once we've done whatever we're going to do around here, probably accumulate now, to be honest, because that macro's finished. Probably going to mess around in this order block for a bit and then go up my prediction and then run out these equal highs, but we'll see. But that was a decent trade for different elements to explain that you might not understand, especially where to put your TP, because so many times I've been TP edged and it's just spun around me and done this, and it's just like all that time just to, and look, you wouldn't have had much time to close your trade. These are 1-minute candles, you know, you'd have been down here before you know it, and that's a lot. Okay, market's looking very bearish. Where did all this energy come from? Okay, let's try this range here. All right, so this is 50% of this range. We might leave equal lows, which means we wouldn't be able to take a long. If it came down, tapped 50% and didn't see these lows, we wouldn't want that, especially with this action up here. But let's see what happens. Let's see what ES is doing. I've been neglecting ES. Okay, so that looks like an SMT to me. Not that big though. They are kind of moving together. They're both approaching. So this here is a very bearish signature. This is the Venom signature here on the 5-minute. We've had a strong 5-minute inversion. We're now inverting an order block as well. So, but there's no short here anyway, because we've not swept liquidity, we've left equal highs, and we are bullish overall. So this is just being looked at. Despite all of the elements of it looking bearish, it still isn't a valid short, and still I'm considering that as a retracement or a manipulation to draw more people into shorts before running higher up to what I would say is really the goal, the 9:30 open, which is here. So let's see what happens. Get a 1 minute there. How many seconds we got on that? 42 seconds. All right, cool, give me time to do this. Let's just put that for now. But have we had 50%? No. Let's do bodies. Let's see if we can. Okay, that sits perfectly at 50%, so I'm happy with that. So the reason you adjust it is because sometimes it's wicks, sometimes it's bodies. If you put it on bodies and it's tapped perfectly, then, and ES hasn't, you got SMT, you got algorithmic, but now all you need is your 1 minute. You should not get in. Let me just make sure I'm actually in my practice account. But yeah, that looks like a decent retracement of this higher time frame. We have inverted this order block, which is not ideal. You know, I would want to see a nice strong push on the 1 minute here for us to take a long. What time are we on now? 7:21. Okay, we're not really in a macro either, so it's not ideal. I would rather see it go down and sweep some of these lows. Then we get into a deep discount in this 75 level here. And we've got a gap sitting underneath here, 5-minute gap as well. So if we do continue down, this would be the area to long from. Order block can now come out. You can see what we're doing here. But that's my range now, and that would mean that this is also the range on ES. And they have both tapped 50. So there's no SMT here. Just to correct myself, we are pretty much moving in tandem. I mean, there is a slight SMT if you look at the order block, but nothing consider it okay. 5-minute gap there. There's no gap on ES. Okay, I'll be happy to enter here if we can get a strong close above this 1 minute here. No energy. That's what we like. So we can get a nice close here. We've actually got another one here. I'm trying to see how we react to that as well. This is nice. I like this because we have this indecision candle here in the run. So I was talking about earlier on about being able to spot different signatures. This is one of them. We have these candles indecision, and then we have a nice move after that. I like that. I want to see a nice close. If we can get a close in this order block, preferably top half. So we have inverted the gap, but it's not strong enough close for me. And because we haven't got an SMT, there's not enough confluences for me to enter there. I don't like the look of it. So you can see we're reacting to this order block here. It's always worth, so this is a potential unicorn model here. Okay, we've got our low, high, lower low. Now when we get above this breaker here, which is this grey box here, that becomes, so above this order block, it then turns into a breaker. But if it provides resistance and we move down from that, that remains an order block. It's only a breaker once we push through it and then use that as support. If we push through this, close above it, use it as support, a lot of people will be entering on the unicorn model. I'm happy to enter on the 1 minute inversion. I want to see a close in the top half of the order block. What we might do as a bit of an experiment as well is we will do some scaling in. So let's use this unicorn. So once we get our inversion, if we get a close above the 50% mark of this order block, we'll enter with our sort of low risk. And then once we get a push up and then a tap back down into this breaker, we will add to our position just to experiment with scaling in. Scaling out, but looks like we may not get what we want here, by the looks of it. We'll see. Don't really want to close below the gap. So as predicted, looking like we've got probably a bit of chop happening now as we come out of this macro, which is cool. We've had nice volume for the PM. Very impressed with NQ. I mean, especially something like that. I mean, it's not tradable for us, but some people would have caught that short with their strategy. There's a nice amount of volume there. This is textbook price action. It's exactly what you want to see. You see when you see this like that and it starts to just move down, move down, move down. This low resistance liquidity is what we trade. And the cat just runs all of them shorts out. It's exactly what that's engineered, that, isn't it? So easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. So that's good to note, you know. Don't just go in on every IFVG. If we invert the 1 minute, have a bit of sense and look at the candle, like look at that wick and look at how it's only just closed above. That's not the type of close you want to look for. You want to see a close like with little to no wick at the top of it, or if there is some wick, it at least wants to be closing quite high above. That's just simple candle theory, though. You should be able to read the candles to that level before trying any ICT. So yeah, we may just be having a bit of consolidation until the next macro, at which point, after this accumulation here, so what we're seeing, accumulate, so if we look here, this is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, that is the reason we don't short that is because the reason I said before, and we are bullish. And if we'd swept that high, it's potentially you could take that as a retracement trade, lower probability. But if we had swept that high, I wouldn't have taken it. But it is valid. You're just trading against the bias, which you can do. You just got to be quite confident with it. And this signature, to be fair, you know, this is a decent entry when you look at. That's a nice V-shaped 1 minute. But that's accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So what do we get next after that? The cycle starts again. This is your accumulation. So because we're bullish, we want manipulation to the downside, and then we want distribution. So ideally, we get a strong candle, strong quick candle with a big wick underneath this low here. And ideally we'd want ES2 to not sweep that, although ES is closer to that level, so we may see ES sweep that, and NQ may not, and that's fine. We can take an entry off because ES did and NQ didn't. We have an SMT, we could take an entry off that anyway, especially if we get a nice 1 minute. But let's see what we get here, because we may have an entry before we even get that. There's a 20-point stop. I would be comfortable in these circumstances to have my stop here underneath this candle if we were to enter. So let's go here. Because we're getting a close, and we may get a close if we can close around here, I'm happy to go in with 5. If it pulls above my 20-point stop, then I would need to size down. We've got 10 seconds on that. Oops. So let's see, purchase account 3. I'm happy to go with 5 at that point. It's not that much bigger. I only want 200 risk. So I'm going to have to put a bit tighter, that's fine. And we just want these highs here. I'm going to take this candle here to, the RR is not great actually. Not really happy with that RR. So let's do what we said we would do and scale into this position. This is a good time to do it because I'm not happy with this RR. If we can scale in, if we get a push up and then tap back down to the breaker, then I will add to my position. I'll add 2. That's if it does go in our favor, if it plays out. I'm just going to leave it on the screen for now. The recording should be alright. Let's get rid of this. This is the recording here. I'm going to tighten this stop up to this gap. I want that gap to hold. If not, I would rather be out because we don't have S&T and we have equal lows, kind of. So I'm still confident in this trade. I feel like we go up from here. Those were strong candles, but I want to minimize my risk. It's just as important as your confidence. Just to, over time, you may think, oh, what's 25? It's a lot over time. Over 10 trades, it's a lot. So we've got this unicorn forming here. The fact that we've closed above this order block now means this is a breaker. So we expect 50% of this breaker to hold now. If it's going to support as a breaker and this unicorn is going to hold. If you look here, we've got a fair value gap inside the breaker. That's what qualifies it as a unicorn. Yeah, no matter how small it is, that fair value gap inside this, which is now a breaker as we've closed above, used to be an order block. This is now a unicorn model, so it's a strong signature. They fell just like everything else. That's 50% held, so we'd like to see that. Let's see if we can stay above 50%. What does the S look like? Let's get large again so we can. Did we get a breaker? I mean a unicorn on the S. No unicorn on ES. That's okay. We've also inverted this second 1 minute. Still supporting at 50% of this breaker, which is what we want to see. Should probably write that in. So now that we've created the breaker, we've closed above and we are finding support. We'll see how these candles unfold. If we get a break above these highs, I'd be happy to add to my position. Tapping into the 1 minute, definitely want to see that hold. There's also a 1 minute gap here, bullish gap. that we could be reaching for, and we should have 50% there. Yeah, just hit 50%. So at this point, I would expect us to go. If we continue down here, then I'm happy to get out. Quite a strong close, quite a strong bearish close there. At the mic on. Still surprised at the sort of the volume we're getting. You know, it's good. It's good for this time of day. And this time, you know, that's what you want to see. Especially when you're in my situation, you can only trade the PM because you're working. That's exactly what you want to see. So we tap the 1 minute, 50%, reach into 50% of this range. Definitely want to be bullish from here. Do not want to see that go any lower. As soon as we break above these highs, we'll add to our position. Keep it big now, just in case. Alright, this should be our. I'm gonna buy two. As soon as we break them highs, we'll buy two. And we'll tighten our stop to that low, because we don't expect it to go back down there now. Buy two there. Oh, just got the fill. I think that was a bit higher than I wanted it to be fair. But that's fine. Then we're gonna move up to this low here. This low, there's no reason for it to come down. We've had 50%, we've had the 1 minute. That was obviously what it was reaching for. Now our TP is a lot more generous. That was 300 and something before. Now we're looking at 500. 527. How much risk would I want to take off here? So we're still at the initial 200 risk that we had. But our TP, this is what happens when you scale in. We initially wanted to risk 200. We waited for the market to prove to us, to create the unicorn, to prove to us that it wants to go up. Not 100% by the way, that wick we don't like. But we've got a few gaps here as well, so we're going to expect to see some resistance here. But we've still got 200 risk on, and we're now in with a chance of 200 more than our initial TP. So that's the power of scaling in. Waiting, just coming in with a little bit, waiting for, and make sure you add at the right time. Don't add down here thinking, oh, that's better, because it hasn't proved to you yet. When you get this tap and this retracement into the 1 minute, and then you get these strong candles, this is where you add. If it turns around and goes down from here, there's nothing you can do. That was played out perfectly. We entered perfectly. We waited for the breakout for the unicorn to form. We added perfectly. We trailed perfectly. If anything, if you don't win a trade like that, you shouldn't feel any way about it. That's just a game. Sometimes that happens. But this strategy is good for a 7, 8 times out of 10, so 70 to 80% win rate in my experience. And I mean, I've seen this play out over and over and over again and reached multiple payouts from this, what I would say is a simple strategy. Obviously it seems simple to me because I've studied it, but I've seen a lot more complicated stuff out there that doesn't even work as well as this. Right, so where's TP? TP is, I think that we're looking at our original, was it 9? Oh no, is that a lot higher up, or I'm getting baffled now? Why am I not seeing what I'm thinking? Probably. I'm way off. 930 is all up here. So I expect this TP very, very easily, and I'll be surprised if this doesn't play out. Got the unicorn. Strong 1 minute, nice bullish behavior, textbook. What did ES do? Really impressed with the volume and the movement we're getting this time of night on a Friday. It's great. Well, it's night for me, but obviously this is the PM session. It's 20 to 8. So, I've seen, and you've probably seen the PM session just barcode, man, like barcode for days in a row sometimes. So to see this is encouraging. I just realized I haven't set a break even. It's kind of just, we're running straight through here, and we've got a few gaps, so it's hard to, if I was to look for a break even here, I'd probably chop down this, okay, I'll probably put us on that break even now. I don't really want to go to break even at the minute. It's like, it's a bit close. To be honest, if I get an equilibrium there and I break a level here, what do I not want to see? I don't really want to see us come, I definitely don't want to see us come below the breaker. 183, equilibrium. See some volume balances here, so I want to give it space for that. I've got a gap here. This is also, this is my area of support. I don't want to see us go below that if we do retrace. I feel, for me, how much is this on here? 183. What's this? 138. I mean, that's a significant amount there. The bottom of this candle here, what's that? 169. I'm going to say, how much of a retracement? Let me look at this 5 minute quickly. Oh, this is 5 minute. Okay, let me look at the 15 minute then. Not much reason to go down there. 5 minute gap, 5 minute gap. Yeah, don't want to see us visit the bottom of this breaker, so I'll leave 176 on. If it comes below this low, I don't want to be in it anyway. So, and I just want to tidy up now as well. I know where the bottom of the breaker is. That's where my TP is. 50% is way up here. Shouldn't need to come any further than that. And that's just how you manage. That's how I manage trade. 50%. Look for your levels of support. If you know ICT, you should know where price shouldn't push through when it's bullish like this, unless it was just drawing you in and is going to run you out. Then you manage your risk accordingly. So we've swept the volume imbalance. That was a target for me, and then we've tapped into this 1 minute here. On the 5 minute, there's nothing else. It's all closed off. This for me is the draw on liquidity now. All of these short positions that we drew in earlier. I remember when I was saying, "Oh, look at this movement," and everyone went short here. And if you got in and got out on a small scalp, then great. But swing traders or people that are trading for a bit longer are still in shorts, and all their stops are here. They're just hoping they don't get one out. That is the draw for me, so confident in that. See. Yeah, can you see that, I was going to move to break even. I wouldn't really be able to move to break even, but I wanted that retracement first, because that easily could have stopped you at break even. Once we break above these highs now, I don't know where I'm pointing, that you can see. Yeah, look. here, we break above this, then we'll be going to break even. You want to just allow yourself for one retracement before moving to break even in this scenario. It's different on each trade, but ES created a unicorn here. Just while we're here, let me just show you, so you, in case you can't visualize what a unicorn is. Unicorn model, which is what I used to trade. I actually used to trade the unicorn model, and I still do now in a way. At least I used it to scale in, but I like the 1 minute because it allows you a better entry. It's just as reliable. So this is your breaker. Breaker here, and what qualifies a unicorn is a fair value gap inside the breaker. A bullish one, obviously. Yeah, hello. All right, what was I saying? Yeah, okay, so fair value gap here. And we tapped it as well. So this would be, a lot of people will wait for a retest of the breaker and the fair value gap and then enter, and then that would be, sorry, this would be an entry if you were trading the unicorn model. You'd be waiting for that, waiting for a close above and then a retest of that gap or the breaker, and that would be your entry. And it's a great strategy. If you wanted to trade that, you'd be profitable with it, no doubt. I know people that are. But that's what it looks like. That's the breaker. You need to also have low, high, lower low, and then break through the breaker to cause a higher high, and then a retest is your entry. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I might be getting confused with the retest. You might just be able to enter just on the close above the breaker. I think people trade it differently. I can't even remember how I used to trade it now, which is weird. So, didn't get our break even here. What time are we on now? In the macro, so I'm expecting us just to move up now. That's just, for me, I want this to hold. I don't want any lower than that. What's this here? We've got this gap here as well. Closed above that one already as well. Okay, that held. That's good. So on these lower time frames, it's the same thing. We've moved down here, we reached for a gap and we hit a volume imbalance. So the next draw, just here, just in this little, because some people trade seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. So they're in tiny little scalps. So the market is fractal, it does the same thing on the lower time frames and the higher time frames. So if we've already visited a point of interest here, the next one's here. So we hit a gap here, the next point's here. That for me, it can and does, not very often, but still run down here. But this high is more attractive for it. There's short positions, there's short stops here. So I'm confident we get break even. That would be good. And once we get above this here, we might get a retracement, but I wouldn't want us to come right back down to these lows. I wouldn't expect it anyway. Not as far as ICT is concerned anyway. That's how it should go, and it does over and over again. In the 1 minute here. Nice reaction at 50% if we can get a close, so we've still got lows on the candle. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, just want to map out this fair value gap here. So we're tapping at 50% here. 1, 2, 3 taps. When you see a level get repeatedly tapped like this and bullish PDRA is supported, we're likely to want to break through that. Just as an observation. It was right towards the end of the candle. That would be nice if we can get a strong close above break even. I don't really want to go unless we get a close above it. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. I'll move to break even there. Just make sure our TP is in a respectable place, which is, in this case, let me see, how much difference is it? Because it's 527, 470, it's 50 difference. I'm going to go to the body of this order block here. I feel more comfortable that we want the body at least. And it's not much to take off. It's literally what, 10 or 20 on it. I just feel more comfortable in case we want to then start leaving in equal highs again. Okay, so far so good. And remember this, there is always the potential for a deep retracement these times of the day, but decent volume here, so let's see if we can get this high before a retracement, because if we do get a retracement, it could be a break-even trade. We shall see. And then I'm probably going to call it a day after this. It's a decent day. We'll recap the trades I took earlier. I think I took 2 wins and a small loss. So that'll put me on 4 wins for the day, which is decent for a Friday, man, for sure. Yeah, decent short at open. I was expecting longs and I was kind of bullish on the day, to be fair. But you can't marry a bias. If the market shows you something different, you've got to be ready to enter that as well. So I'll show you what I did there. And then we'll probably call it a day there. I don't really need to be in the markets. I think we had some good examples here, and it's Friday evening, family time, do a bit of movie, and dinner's ready soon, so let's see. I don't like that candle. Well, we got a volume imbalance here. Okay, I expect we could be reaching for this. See how we react to that. Candle actually closed right above that volume imbalance. Is interesting. But yeah, no, we don't like this candle. We don't expect to see this candle. So with this inversion here, we could expect to see a retracement, probably a break-even trade, to be fair. But that's cool. We've done enough today. We like the way that volume imbalance has supported price. We like that. This is also a volume imbalance. Like with an opening price and the closing and the opening, I've got this gap. That's like a new week or new day opening gap, but just on a 5-minute, new 5-minute opening gap. And you can see and we filled this volume imbalance, filled this volume imbalance. And if you look at how precise that is, that's to the tick, filled this imbalance to the tick. Little things like that. And some people say ICT doesn't work. Look at that. You can see what that is. To the tick. To be able to call out the levels like that. And you can see below there, they open and close perfectly, open and close perfectly, no gaps. Reaches right down to the tick, fills out this imbalance, and look at that wick. It's actually quite beautiful when it works. And it does work. So, not liking the price action, looking a bit bearish, but we've got an new hourly candle opening here. So I'm hoping that that's just the bottom wick, and then we're going to move up. But if not, we take break even trade. It's fine. That's quite bearish. You see how we've had this inversion, created a gap, tapped the gap, and moving down. Tempted to close the trade. How much profit are we in here? What are we over here? 86, and that's nothing. I think I'm going to move this up here. I just don't feel like we need to go below this. If we do, we're definitely going to get break even anyway. So I'm going to lock in some profits here. I feel like we should be bullish from this. That's the bottom wick for me. We should be bullish. Yeah, I don't want to see. If we come past here, we are going to hit that low. So I may as well secure that profit. That's my thinking behind this. it now. If we're on a range, because you're starting to see this curve, and then we get a dip and a move. That's something we see in low volume situations. You can start to see it will do this and do this and do this, and then come down and go up. So I don't want to sit through that. I've done pretty well today. I'm just going to trail my stop, and I'm happy to take 121 on it. And unless it just wants to go up now, which is because, so just to give you my reasoning, there's a 1 minute inversion here. We've tapped into a gap here. Nothing high in the higher time frame, really. I don't think, not even on the 5 minute. So this looks to me like a consolidation before, and a consolidation arch, which would then dip down to 50% of this range and then go up. So I'm not really going to sit through that. And it could just take us out of break even. So we'll take that. We'll take 117. You could play that differently. You could stay at break even and risk it, but break even is at 50% of the range. So sometimes you've got to take what the market gives you. In this case, it could have just shot to TP, but it didn't, and that's fine. See this sort of trend line liquidity is forming here. This volume imbalance is still holding the bodies. Agitation. What time is that? 8:05. All right, happy with that. Done for the day there. Likely get 50% of this range. This volume imbalance has been got, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go up from here. But that's all good. I'm done for the day. Pretty decent across the account. So 292 on the practice account, 329 on the challenge account. Let's have a look at the trade from earlier, and we'll be done. Just real quick. So we'll come back and see how this pans out afterwards. Let's get into one screen. Okay, up here, yeah. So we had a nice bit of consolidation at market open, which is not fun. I think that's where I took a loss. I don't know if actually, oh yeah, because I was driving, I actually missed this consolidation. I probably would have got chopped up in this. But I only got to the charts, I think, around about here when it actually started moving. Because yeah, if I remember correctly, oh no, we didn't get an inversion. So I thought that we'd inverted early, but we didn't. So in that case, no, it would have been fine. So pretty textbook. Today at open, this is your sweep of liquidity. What was that? So I guess you could call that London highs. Let's put that in. So before market open, what are we seeing? Pretty much consolidation. This isn't, there's not much going on here, especially this. So this is just the opposite of what we just took. We just took a bullish one. This is a bearish one. Look at how it's building up these long positions and accumulating back and forth here. So as soon as we see this, especially towards the liquidity level it is, it's running out these short positions. And then what do we get right before market open? So I didn't actually see this because I wasn't at the charts until about here. We get this run up here, this strong, after all of this, we get this sharp move, and along that leg, what do we create? 1 minute. The golden signal. All right. This is messy, but you don't need to be trading this. There's nothing here. There's no 1 minute. There's nothing to trade there. So you're just going to sit through that. How long did that last for? 9:26 to 9:40. Where was the entry? Yeah, of course the entry was, look, bang on the macro. If you were entering on a retracement, which a lot of people do, bang on the macro. Nothing to do here. This here is your entry. This is your 1 minute. Is that your 1 minute? What am I missing here? Yeah, here. So if you know the model already, if you don't, then I'll show it to you now. The candle that created, oh actually, if you put that there, you probably would have got stopped out. Yeah, you would have got stopped out on this one. But there's a re-entry. Could have re-entered that. Why did it come back there? Let's have a look. If you see a volume imbalance right by where your stop is, my advice is to put your stop there. It's only 13 points as well, so that's fine. Okay, if that volume imbalance wasn't there, you would not likely have got that wick there. That wick is reaching for this volume imbalance. So you need to be able to spot that. You enter here and you spot this volume imbalance, put your stop at least to here, yeah? That's quite rare that happens. It's because it's a bit choppy, but that's fine. Even if you did get stopped out, it comes here and you retrace back down to this 1 minute, you can enter here because you've had even more confirmation. That comes right down here and it comes right up here and closes here. When we come back down, you get stopped out here. Let's just say you get stopped out here. You re-enter here on that tap there. You might want to wait a bit, let it close here, re-enter there. All right, just for future reference. Don't be scared to re-enter. We've swept liquidity, we've created the 1 minute, we've had a nice strong push down. You should be in this trade regardless, yeah? Okay. So pretty textbook, pretty simple. I can't remember if I took I think I came in late. I actually got stopped out. Can't remember exactly what happened because I was moving around. Executions. What did I do? Hello? I'm not seeing my chart executions. Did I not click it? Oh, save? Oh, because they're white. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I think I closed the trade. I can't remember. I find it hard to read these things, but anyway, I'll try. So short position here. Looks like I got stopped out there on that candle. And then I re-entered. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I did re-enter. Okay, cool. And then what did I target? I'm pretty sure I targeted London lows, which would have been here, no? This is me doing it on my phone whilst I'm pulling over, going to pick people up, then drop people off, then pulling over, and it's not ideal. Yeah, because I remember I wanted to take a long from London lows. This is London lows anyway. Let's see what that looks like in 1 minute. Yeah, so London lows is there, and that's where I exited the trade. So took one entry here, and that must have been because, yeah, so I missed the 1 minute. I missed the 1 minute here. And I looked at the charts, must be about here or here, and I was like, okay, there's a short here. We've just inverted this 1 minute. Entered on this candle, could have been anywhere along here. And then it came back and stopped me out. And then this candle opened, moved up, and I entered here. So that's exactly what I was saying earlier. I was about re-entering the trade. Re-enter the trade, and then we get this nice bearish move all the way down, no green candles, right to TP. So that was decent trade. I think I took another little loss or something. I can't remember. But I'll have a look 1 second. 46 handles, not bad. 3.5R. Yeah, decent trade. And then here, looks like I took a long and then got stopped out. Yeah. That looks like a 1 minute long there. What did we sweep? Oh, it must have been off a 50 minute. There must have been a fair value gap on the higher time frame and a 50% retracement. I don't even remember taking this, to be honest, but I've got so many things going on at once. But this would have been the entry here. Must have missed the candle, tried to enter. Oh yeah, because I missed this again, driving, pulled over, saw this, waited for a retracement, and then entered as close as I could to the 1 minute entry, which is here, pretty decent. And then just turned around, I went down. 1 minute failed, got stopped out here. Absolutely fine. So because I know that we're bearish after that fails, I take a cheeky short right from here to here, and I'm pretty sure that level. And that, by the way, the reason this is on my practice account, I wouldn't do this on a funded or challenge account because I'm practicing testing out when a 1 minute IFVG fails and we've got an obvious draw to the downside, which I'm pretty sure was this. This point of imbalance it could have been. Then I'll take the short. But that's pretty much today's trades done. So small loss there, 2 wins there. So 2 wins, 2 losses, but still ended up profitable. And then today in this PM session that we've traded, we've taken, that's from earlier. What did we take? We took 2 trades. Oh yeah. So we took, yeah, so this is a great trade. Just to recap real quick, entry here on the 1 minute, added to our position on the unicorn model and got out here on a retracement, didn't get full TP on that one. And then our other trade, another decent trade, was the one on the challenge account, which was, is it showing me? Yeah, nice trade. Probably the better trade of the day. Did we get stopped out? My memory's so bad on these types of things. But yeah, I'm guessing we did by the looks of this. We took a long on the 1 minute. I'm getting tired now. Or did we add 2, 3? Well, as I said, I can't. It was literally like an hour ago. Anyway, we know that we got in here and we got out here. Oh yeah, because I didn't have my brackets on. I didn't have my stop loss and take profit on, so I had to re-enter the trade and then use my stop markets, and that's fine. So anyway, we entered down here, got out up here. Really nice trade. Happy with that. We've done the recap of the trade, so we know about all that. Okay, decent trading day. Nice way to end the week. If you haven't already, guys, please like, comment, share, do all that good stuff, and try and promote the channel. I want to get as many people in here as possible learning this strategy, because I feel it's simple, it's powerful, it's effective, it's made me profitable. I've reached multiple payouts, as I've said, with this strategy, and I want you to do the same. Why not? Free Telegram, link in the bio. And yeah, man, stay blessed. Hope you have a good weekend or a good day or night or whatever it is when you're watching this. Sending love, man. Stay blessed.